I'm Flori Marquez, and I'm the founder and SVP of operations of BlockFi. For those of you who are not familiar with the BlockFi platform, we make financial products powered by crypto. Our three products that you can access today are an interest account where you can deposit crypto to BlockFi and earn up to 8.6% per year on those assets, and that includes stablecoin. We also offer trading and US dollar loans backed by crypto. We've had a tremendous past few years. Most recently, we're really proud to have just raised a $30 million Series B. I'm blown away by the fact that we now have over 100 people working in 5 offices across New York, New Jersey, London, Argentina, Poland, and we have over 500 million assets on the platform and customers in over 100 countries. So we've gotten really big. My role at BlockFi has been to do a number of things. I like to joke that on the first day of every year, my job completely changes. And that has included building and currently managing the client service team, building and managing operations. I've built our initial trading team. And most pertinent for what we're going to talk about today, I built and scaled our marketing team. So when I was asked to come on and talk about, how do you successfully scale apps geared towards retail consumers, the first thing that came to mind was a quote that one of our investors said to me recently. And that's, there are 2 ways to build a business. You can either invent a completely new technology, something that doesn't exist, and I think Ethereum is an example of that, or you can take an old idea and apply a new technology to it. And that's what we do at BlockFi. We take things that have existed for hundreds of years, typical financial products, and we apply it to a new asset, crypto. 3 years ago, when we started building BlockFi, building a crypto startup without using blockchain technology directly, so not building it on the blockchain, was not a popular choice. My co-founder and I, it was tempting to potentially raise an ICO and be able to scale really rapidly. But instead, we chose the longer and slower way to build a company, which is the traditional VC funding route. And the reason that we did that was we recognized 2 needs. One was the fact that we needed to build financial services for people that were currently investing in crypto. And the reason for that is that the banks won't touch it. And in order to do that, we needed to build a regulatory compliant platform. And to us, that meant building it the traditional route, like a typical fintech company. And the second reason was that we realized that what crypto and Ethereum needed was a company that could entice a non-technical audience. And I think that that audience includes both traditional investors and the traditional finance side of things and consumers. So today, we're going to talk about scaling a company with a consumer first mindset. So how do we grab all of those people out there that are currently not using crypto and convince them to go into the space? And I think the BlockFi story is a bit different from most of the companies that you'll see over this conference. Most companies here are building completely new solutions that have never existed before. And as I said before, at BlockFi, we keep things very simple. We're taking old systems and making them available to crypto. And I think what the Ethereum ecospace needs is both. We need companies that build on the protocol and expand technology to create systems that have never existed before. But we also need companies that can build the bridge between how consumers are interacting with centralized applications today and convince them to purchase or get into crypto for the first time. So our vision from the beginning was to make crypto digestible for a regular consumer. And I kind of think about BlockFi as the gateway drug for crypto. So can we convince you to get your assets off of just the regular banking system and give you a reason to invest in something better? And the way we started out was 3 years ago. We looked around the blockchain ecosphere, and there were a lot of things that made it difficult for a non-technical consumer to get invested into crypto. And I think I can summarize it in 3 things. The first was crypto suffered from a bad reputation. It was associated with illegal activities. I think we've come a long way since then. The second was that companies that were building real products were building for an already advanced technical audience. So when I would go on crypto company websites 3 to 4 years ago, the language and the description of the products was extremely technical. And it made me feel as a non-technical person that I didn't understand enough about what these companies were building to deserve to get involved or invest in the space. And the third reason is that unlike typical consumer-facing companies, most blockchain companies didn't offer the basic customer experience that other centralized applications did. And that includes things like a working support email and a phone number where if you call, someone picks up the phone. And at BlockFi, I think we believe that our bar is the same as any centralized application when it comes to customer experience. So as we think about, how do you build consumer-facing apps and what do I attribute our continued rapid success? I think it comes down to one main theme, and that is an unrelenting focus on customer experience. And I can break that down into 3 things. The first is always putting the client first. So when you're first launching a company, it's going to take a while for your app to be able to self-service potential clients. And what I mean by self-service is an example like Uber. If you're taking an Uber and your driver doesn't show up, now you can, in 3 clicks, get reimbursed for the no-show and get your $5 back, and you never had to talk to a client service representative. When you're first starting a company, it's going to take a while for your technology to be able to get there. So the key is making sure that you have the ability for clients to interact with you, and that interaction gives your first adopters trust in your service, which then fuels later adoption and allows you to get to the stage where you can have a self-servicing app. The second thing, putting client experience first, is speaking in terms that people know. So one thing that we've really focused on is how can we take a design or language that mimics what people already know how to use on other applications on their mobile phones and make that applicable to the BlockFi app. And I think you can expand this beyond just UX and UI and think about it as language when you're describing certain things to people who have never invested in crypto. And the best example that I can think of is when we're describing stablecoins. Stablecoins are super powerful, and I think they can change the world, especially for a lot of people who live overseas and don't have access to stable currencies. But when you're explaining it to a non-technical consumer, one thing I like to do is compare it to a Venmo balance. A Venmo balance is not cash, it's not FDIC insured, but you can turn it into cash whenever you want to. And while that's not an accurate technical description of what a stablecoin does, that type of language allows consumers who aren't currently in crypto to feel like they can understand what that type of technology does and how they can use it. And the third way that we've focused on customer experience is building products that people know how to use. And in some ways, I think it's on us to almost obfuscate the blockchain when we're building our UI. We've always focused on creating an interface that simplifies user actions. And one thing that I think is very challenging when you're building products is to be able to separate yourself from the complexities of the backend and the infrastructure that you're building and take a step back and think about, for a regular consumer that is non-technical, what do they actually need to know? What do they want to know? And how can we design an experience to simplify that process? So those are the key points that helped us get to where we are today. And the real reason that I'm very excited to be here is because we have a very exciting product announcement coming out. And I'd like to invite our Director of Product Management, Jerry Michaels, up on this virtual stage to help me let you guys know what we've built.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay, Lori?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, so
Jerry. We're really excited to have you. What do you want to tell our audience?
Yeah, so today's the first day where we've launched our BlockFi mobile application. It's available for both iOS and Android on the App Store and Google Play.
I'm super pumped. I've already downloaded the application and given a very non-biased 5 out of 5 star review on the mobile store. Before we get into the nitty gritty, I know that being on this stage holds a special spot in Jerry's heart because he's a longtime holder in Ethereum. How long have you been investing in it?
I've been investing, but more so interested in Ethereum projects since 2016. So I'm a big fan of BlockFi, obviously, but I'm particularly interested in DeFi projects like MakerDAO, Uniswap, Compound, etc.
Yeah, and I think that's important because I think you've always had a very kind of like deep understanding of blockchain technology. So I think when I was talking about earlier, the importance of kind of separating ourselves from the complexities of what's going on the back end and creating a simple design, that's definitely a challenge you've had to work through. What was it like designing our mobile app, and how did you get it to the simple form it's in today?
Yeah, so I mean, when we're working with engineering and design, we're trying to strike a balance. We want to be robust, acknowledging the important aspects of a blockchain transaction, but we kind of want to put a layer of abstraction on top of it, because a lot of our clients are first-time crypto users. So it's critical to be able to clearly define their intent, what they're trying to do, without having the client worry about the intricacies of any given blockchain.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's one thing that we've really worked on in the app, which is at a high level, you can interact with it and never have to see the complexities of what's going on behind it. But we do give people the ability to dig in further and get those details if they need it. And I think that goes to a big theme, which is, how do you simplify something as complex as the blockchain?
Yeah, so I mean, when we're working to simplify that a bit, we're trying to use different elements of like conversational language on the platform to guide through users through like a step-by-step approach. So for example, they're executing a trade or applying for a loan or trying to deposit or withdraw crypto into their interest account. Ultimately, we feel that there's a huge population of users that don't yet fully understand crypto, and that's fine. We want to cater both to crypto veterans and, more importantly, new joiners who are experiencing BlockFi and crypto as kind of their first take. And I think you'll see that kind of in the way that we went about building the application.
Awesome. So enough about it. Do you want to show us what it looks like?
Exactly. Yeah. So I wish I could do a nice live demo pushing the phone to the screen, but to save the audience from any hiccups, I just have some screenshots just that I wanted to talk through. So with the mobile app, we tried to take a really clean approach, just showing just relevant information that a customer wants to see about their accounts. So you hit our dashboard, you see your overview of your interest account in dollar terms. You could see the assets that you're using with us on the platform, what your balance is, how much interest you've earned, that you've been paid so far, and what you've earned so far for the month. Off the home screen, you could just dive right in a little bit deeper. I'm looking at my interest account and seeing my breakout by different assets. I can choose a particular asset and just see the overview of what I have on the platform. I can see the interest rate that I'm currently earning. And I mentioned a little bit of that conversational language in our design. And an example of that is like, for example, as you go through a withdrawal workflow, just trying to abstract a bit what's going on, saying, how much do you want to withdraw? Where do you want your funds to go? You could have already pre-saved cryptocurrency addresses to your account, so you're not fumbling with alphanumeric public addresses, just selecting quickly on the fly. And then just with a couple clicks, you're reviewing the blockchain transaction you're about to execute and ultimately go through your transaction. So this is our first step. It's an exciting launch for us, and I'm super excited to get feedback from our users. And we have a lot coming up over the next couple months to keep building additional features into the app and responding to feedback and keep iterating.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm super pumped that I can finally access that sweet 8.6% on my phone now and constantly check my balances. In times like this, when the economy is not doing its greatest, definitely getting a stable yield makes a big difference. So thank you for all the hard work you put into getting this onto people's phones. And we're really excited to get downloads on the App Store and the Android store. And thank you for letting us come on stage and unveiling our new product.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Alrighty. Well, if you guys want to reach us, as I mentioned, we have excellent client service, and you can reach us at support@blockfi.com. Give us a call, follow us on Twitter, and I'll look out for your downloads and reviews in our App Store. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.